Hey, this is Christian Buckley with CollabTalk, and today I've got this MVP Buzz Chat all the way from the UK. Onur, thanks a lot for joining me. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. First of all, thank you very much, Christian, for having me today. Well, actually, it's just really great to be a part of your brilliant idea of gathering all MVP guys and fellows together and giving us a great opportunity to know each other, right? Because actually, for those who I had never met yet, it's just really wonderful to be a part of it. Thanks very much again.
That's exactly the reason why I'm doing it too. Is just it's not like this, like anything more like big marketing reasoning for doing it, other than I wanted to break out of my echo chamber of the folks that I know and talk to on a regular basis and meet other MVPs and do some cross pollination. So. Anyway, so yeah, who do you work for? What do you do?
Well, let me just tell you about myself first. I'm originally from Istanbul, Turkey, and I'm based in London. And I'm running my own business here in London, through which I am delivering some cloud consultancy services and automation services to enterprises. And on the other hand, I'm in the MVP program since 2009 in Windows and devices IT expertise, which is almost a decade, right? And time flies.
Yeah.
And actually, the Microsoft keeps, they just keep changing the name of the expertise as you experienced it before. So I'm just, trying hard to just catch the, current name of my expertise. So, when someone just asks me, what's your expertise? And I'm just kind of baffled at first second. So but now it's Windows and device for IT.
Because mine is, so I've had three, been, the same expertise. It's, it's changed. It's three different titles to it. So what would you say, where did you start as?
Well, actually, I have, all the cards here. I'm going to cheat, I know, of course. The first used to be Windows Desktop Experience. And then, they just changed it to Windows Expert IT Pro. And then they just removed the expert part, and then Windows IT Pro. And not an expert anymore. And then now finally it's Windows and device for IT.
No, that's great. So what would you like? So what products, for those that aren't familiar with that space? So kind of what is encompassed within that expertise?
Well, actually, when it comes to Windows and device IT, the maybe 99% of the entire expertise consists of Windows 10 and its, all its services and, sub elements, etc. To be honest, for, past couple of years, are really great years for Windows lovers because, after Microsoft just rolled out Windows 10, they just, keep putting something on top of the existing environment on a daily basis.
Yes.
Right. And then when you just, wake up in the morning and you just find the Windows 10 and notice that Microsoft, put something on it, it's really wonderful, actually. So that is the same on the server side. And when you just try to just get the things together, it's just more exciting and really a bit more challenging, to be honest. That's what.
Yeah, I see a lot of the updates that come through because of interactions I've had with some other MVPs and now follow them and I'm more keenly aware of with the Windows Insider program and the folks that are involved with that, which is fantastic, by the way. If you want to be out on the leading edge of what's happening with Windows, go take a look at that program and getting involved there. But I also have the server and tools. Had many friends that have been in the server and tools business there at Microsoft for years, and I've got kind of a personal connection, and that my brother-in-law is over there, owns config manager engineering. So got some insight. When I have questions that are above my pay grade on Windows stuff, and I just kind of go over to David and what does this mean? What's going on here? Should I care? Usually it's No, don't worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so with that, you know, and what's the name of your business? What's it, just under your name, or what's your consulting?
Yeah, it's Clouders.
Okay.
Cloud ERZ, yeah, Clouders, and actually, I'm kind of doing different stuff here through my company. Although my MEP expert is Windows and Windows related stuff, I'm also pretty busy with automation and DevOps procedures and Azure and Azure related cloud stuff. Actually, anything related to Microsoft Cloud side, including some PowerShell and some, anything related to automation.
So maybe you walk through. So some folks that, and I know I had a couple good friends that have kind of moved from the SharePoint Office 365 space over into the broader kind of DevOps category and working with, and then they're both kind of outside of the Microsoft ecosystem, looking at DevOps from a community standpoint. When you go in and talk with a client, I mean, what is some of the stuff that you work with on them, and what does that consulting involve?
Well, actually, things are just getting pretty much converged, every single day. When you just work on Office 365, for example, you just usually find yourself dealing with Azure Active Directory or, Azure B2C environment or anything, getting connected to Office 365, right? So actually that is the same in my area as well. Even though, when you just try to spin up a new virtual machine on Azure, you have to be familiar with Windows operating systems, right? And when it comes to automation and desired state configuration of PowerShell, you have to have some principles and some basics about Windows operating systems and Windows servers and, just some, layers in between, actually. So, things are really, really just getting closer to each other that way.
Well, and I think there was a lot of fear about over the last few years, and again, my perspective coming from the Office 365 side of things, that these IT pro roles, a lot of these DevOps roles, traditional roles, were going away, and Microsoft said, look, there are changes that are happening, and that's always going to be the case. There's technology, things modernize. There, you have now the launch, and I think very successful, the patterns and practices team, and people in the community and inside Microsoft driving people towards this best practices. At the same time, you have more and more features being added to these admin portals. I was doing a webinar yesterday with folks around a cybersecurity topic. So good friend Waldeck over at Rencor was talking about a lot of what they do with organizations to help them kind of identify what's there. It's like, before you go and decide whether you hire somebody or to come in and help and automate and streamline is identify, know what's in your system, know what those pieces are. That's a big part of, I assume, you going in with the client is to figure out what are you doing today, what is working, what is not working, and then help set up and say, here's maybe where to go and prioritize what you go in and automate first, where you're going to get the greatest value.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Actually, what I think is that, anything needs to be done more than once, needs to be automated nowadays. That's a really important thing. With that, if you are willing to be a part of cloud technology and really want to go with DevOps practice, you need to be familiar with automation first. Don't you think that, we all started, using some virtualization stuff before Azure and Office 365, before SaaS stuff? Actually, we were kind of familiar with IaaS stuff. It was kind of the first step of the entire story. And nowadays, I think that automation is kind of the first step of the entire DevOps strategy as well. So when I just, meet my customers and clients, the first thing that I usually tell them is that, are you going to automate this stuff in your environment? Are you willing to do this? And if I just see that light from my customer, and then I think that, all right, they are going to be implementing some DevOps practice, and that's what they need to do actually. So the key point in my area is PowerShell and automation, and some, bunch of tools, of course.
I mean, but our clients, do they generally know what they need to go and automate? I mean, do you come in, are they looking at specific workloads? Are they saying, hey, we've identified this, but we need help because we just don't have the personnel to do it? Or, but how much are you going in there? Is it really just kind of this discovery, activity to find out what's happening?
Well, it depends on, how mature they just gone and, in their business. And then, because there are millions of different scenarios when it comes to automation, and when you just see your customer doing the same thing on a daily basis, and then that is a key point that you have to offer them, and then let's just do this, let's just do that in an automated way, and then that's just that becomes easier to go forward.
But my experience, just historically going back and working very closely with engineering teams of various, different software startups. And I worked at a venture capital backed, software as a service company I went to work for them it was February of 2001. And so it was it was a new concept back then. And moving over to these cloud-based services and trying to convince customers to move across. Part of it is we had a pretty sizable IT organization, and a lot of them that were, as this stuff was new, they were generally keeping up on that. And they were really at the front of trying to push the company towards these, this automation, these cloud-based services and other things that are out there. There wasn't a lot we could go and adopt just because security it was not yet there. It was still so new back in 2001, 2002. But do you see now going into organizations that they just don't have the personnel, the skills, the knowledge around that? Or are you more doing an augmentation of those teams as a consultant, or are they just lacking those skills altogether? You go to these organizations where they're reliant on bringing somebody from the outside.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, they're just putting good things together, but because it's pretty new to move on to the new approach like DevOps and automation, all the things around. And I think what they're looking for, a kind of really great orchestration that you can manage in the background to be able to make them see the correct point and along the way.
So are you spending a lot of your time mentoring and kind of training them and those the people that are there, or
Yep. I'm also an MCT for the past 11 years now. Wow. And yeah, I love just giving people some information and collaborating, etc. Actually just doing it's more about giving the companies a kind of architectural stuff rather than just doing the engineering stuff in the kitchen. Actually, that's what I call. Right. But I love just hands-on stuff as well. But customer to customer, it just changes, I think.
Sure. It's depending. So my personal philosophy, when I'm consulting with the company is never, I don't want to have this long-term customer where I'm in there and I'm basically their outsourced, person. I'm interested in going in there with a specific focus and goal to solve that. I guess that's sort of what one side of what I was getting at. The other side is back to one of my earlier comments about, the IT pro roles not going away is, I've personally seen that some organizations made cuts, made some changes without fully understanding what it takes to automate, to run these cloud-based services. They just thought, hey, we no longer have the servers, have to maintain them. We don't need all this overhead, these personnel. I always argued that that role, those skills evolve and change. They don't go away. You still need to have people that understand these services and understand Windows and understand all these components.
And also one of the important things is that DevOps structure and practice is a kind of thing that the companies usually don't understand, or understand in a different way. Because just go back 10 years ago, and then you try to remember that there were developers and there were infra guys. And then now we are just putting the things together to make a great combination, right? That sounds perfect. Of course, I totally understand that. But the harder point is to make the customers realize the entire picture. That is
right. Exactly. Yeah. And it may be that technology-led component, the piece that you're providing in the middle and the automation, but you still have to understand where people come from, what are they trying to accomplish, like the business components of that, what needs to be operated, and then the delivery support, ongoing, the customer success aspect of that. Whether that's an internal solution that you're helping or something that's customer facing, you have to think about the beginning, middle, and the end, and what you're able to do, what you actually own. That's probably like a longer UX discussion, but it's completely relevant even in the DevOps space.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that.
Well, listen, I know we're kind of out of time here, but how can people find out more about you, get in touch with you? Where's the best places to reach you?
Actually, Twitter will be the best. It's BAKIONUR, Buckley Onur. Will be the fastest way to reach me.
Well, I'll share other links and any other links or content or things that you want to share. Thanks a lot for taking the time to talk today, and we'll see you soon. Maybe at the MVP Summit. Are you doing Ignite in the fall? Are you going to be over?
No, unfortunately, But the MVP Summit case, I've been just going there for the past 10 years.
You're gonna miss. You mean you're gonna miss out on Harry Potter World in Orlando? Come on.
Oh man. Yeah. Watch that later. All right.
Well, yeah. Hey, well, I'll at least I'll if nothing else, I'll see you next March. I think it's going to be March. Whatever the next summit is. So, anyway, thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.
Thank you very much, Christian, for your time and all the stuff. Thanks.
Talk to you later.